Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. Psalm 55:22. On July 28, 2025, a tragic mass shooting unfolded at 345 Park Avenue in Midtown Manhattan, New York City.
We do begin here with breaking news in New York City. A chaotic scene unfolding at this hour in Midtown Manhattan. Police say a gunman opened fire late today on Park Avenue on the city's east side. Tonight, ABC News obtaining an image of the suspected gunman, a man in a suit and sunglasses, armed with a long gun.
This morning, new details from the deadly shooting in Midtown Manhattan. At least 4 people killed in a Park Avenue office building, including a New York City police officer.
We're getting multiple calls from 345 Park Avenue.
Officials responding to 911 calls just before 6:30 Monday evening. Officers here rushing into 345 Park Avenue. The suspect walking alone into the building holding an M4 assault rifle, wearing body armor. Police say he entered the lobby and began spraying bullets, hitting a police officer, another man, a security guard, and a woman who took cover behind a pillar.
The 33rd floor is not secure. We have multiple people shot.
The suspect taking the elevator to the 33rd floor, where he again opened fire, killing a woman there before barricading himself inside. Authorities saying the suspect died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the chest.
Shortly thereafter, on August 6th, an Army sergeant opened fire at Fort Stewart in Georgia, injuring 5 fellow soldiers.
The 28-year-old Army Sergeant Cornelius Radford taken into military custody after the shooting, hands and feet shackled, flanked by soldiers.
On August 8th, a man targeted the headquarters of the CDC in the Emory University campus in Atlanta, resulting in the death of a 33-year-old DeKalb County Police Officer.
We begin tonight with new details in that deadly attack in Atlanta. Police identifying the suspect who opened fire near the campuses of the CDC and Emory University. The gunman perched on the rooftop of a CVS, shooting and killing a police officer. New images tonight showing multiple bullet holes piercing the windows at CDC headquarters. At least 4 buildings were hit, but no employees or visitors injured. Students at Emory University were told to shelter in place. Police officer David Rose was killed. The 33-year-old Marine veteran leaves behind a pregnant wife and 2 children.
Gunshots rang out at this Atlanta area CVS Friday afternoon. The ground later covered in shell casings. Police say 30-year-old Patrick Joseph White of nearby Kennesaw, Georgia, was found dead on the 2nd floor of the CVS, armed with a long gun. Several other firearms were also recovered. Across the street, the CDC.
Additionally, on August 8th, Detroit Lions safety Maurice Norris sustained a head injury during an NFL preseason game against the Atlanta Falcons.
More breaking news, a serious injury ends the NFL preseason game between the Detroit Lions and the Atlanta Falcons. Detroit safety Maurice Norris went low to make a tackle and was kneed in the head. He was attended to for around 20 minutes before they took him off the field in an ambulance. The game was later suspended with more than 6 minutes left on the clock. The Lions coach later said he had heard positive news from the hospital.
At first glance, these incidents may seem random and unrelated. However, when we take a deeper look at the symbolism hidden within each of these events, it becomes obvious that these events were purposefully interwoven together as part of a larger satanic human sacrifice ritual meant to exalt the devil and its Antichrist. So without further ado, let's get into it. On July 28th, a mass shooting occurred at 345 Park Avenue in New York City. The incident began at 6:28 p.m. As we continue in this video, you will see that these shootings are connected to the deadly head wound that the Antichrist will suffer and rise from. The time this incident occurred, 6:28 p.m., is the very first reference to this event. Remember, the Antichrist is a counterfeit Christ.
I mean, in a way, Obama's standing above the country, above the world. He's sort of God.
Who will perform counterfeit miracles of Christ.
Be still and know that I am God.
That being said, in this particular instance, the PM and the time, 6:28 p.m., does not mean post-meridium or after midday, but instead actually stands for post-mortem, which is Latin for after death. We know this to be true because if we reverse the time, 6:28, we get 28:6, which is a reference to Matthew 28:6, which declares, "He is not here, for he is risen. As he said, come, see the place where the Lord lay." The very next verse declares, "And go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead. And behold, he goeth before you into Galilee. There shall ye see him. Lo, I have told you." Remember, Nipsey Hussle, the false Messiah figure who was sacrificed in front of the tall cross of the T-Mobile at the age of 33, told you that his name means God will rise.
On my face it said, I don't know what side. I think it's this side. It said God will rise. God will rise.
Clearly, they are telling you of the rise of their coming false Messiah through this event. But let's go even deeper. The gunman who entered the 44-story building was identified as 27-year-old Shane Tamura, and he was found dead on the 33rd floor. The building where this shooting took place was completed in 1969 and designed by Emory Roth and Sons. The name Emory comes from words meaning universal or whole, and power or rule. Thus, the name Emory actually means the ruler of the universe or one world ruler. This connects this building and shooting with the Antichrist, who will rule over the one world beast system. The 44 floors of the building serve to identify number 44, Barack Obama, as their false Messiah. The age of the alleged shooter was 27 years old, and Strong's Concordance lists G27 as agapetas, which means beloved. This is also a reference to Christ, who was called beloved by his Father, Yahweh, as found in Matthew 3:17, which declares, "And lo, a voice from heaven, saying, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." Make note of the mention of the word beloved in reference to the Antichrist or false Messiah, as you will see it again later. The shooter was found dead on the 33rd floor of the Blackstone building. We know that the true Messiah was sacrificed on the cross at age 33. Luke 3:23 shows us that Yahushua was about 30 when he started his ministry around 30 AD, and his ministry lasted for 3 years, placing his death at around 33 AD, making him approximately 33 years old at the time of his sacrifice on the cross. Moreover, the numbers 23 and 33 are closely related to death and resurrection, because Messiah answered the Sadducees' question concerning death and the resurrection in Matthew 22, verses 23 through 33. But more on that later. On August 10th, 2024, a year before the shooting, Shane Tamura was taken to the hospital in Las Vegas for a mental health hold.
Your wallet. I'll give you back your ID, okay?
All right.
Ready?
Keys to lock up?
Notice the number on his apartment door was 3308. It's no coincidence that he was found dead on the 33rd floor of the Blackstone headquarters in New York City in August, which is the 8th month.